Hey everyone, in 2023 we had a big event called Barbenheimer, where the Barbie movie made over $1 billion, and Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer made almost $1 billion too, around 970, 980 million. They were both released on the same weekend, and the event led most people to end up watching both movies at the same time. And the question is, can this be replicated? Are studios thinking about, for example, putting movies like X-Men, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man together with Superman and Batman and making that happen again? Is it interesting? Is it guaranteed success? A big YouTuber named John Campenha answered that question. I'm going to analyze his video. I'm going to give opinion. Just a reminder, subscribe to his channel. I'm already subscribed. It's a great channel. Talks about pop culture, about all the topics you can imagine. Go ahead with that confidence, okay? Just a reminder that I'm not in my usual environment. I'm traveling, but YouTube won't forgive me if I don't make videos, and you all deserve me to keep making them, okay? So, it's explained. Let's get to the video. 3, 2, 1, go.
321 go. Recently you mentioned that studios aren't looking for situations like Barbenheimer, and that they won't compete directly for the same audience. But I wonder, if BBS and Civil War were released on the same weekend, what would the result be? 99% doing a double feature. No.
Alright, let's go. He already said, oh, right. But hold on, right? What is he talking about here? He's saying that back when Captain America Civil War and Batman vs. Superman were released, what would happen if they put both of them out at the same time? It would work out, wouldn't it? People would watch both at the same time. It would end up generating money for both companies, for Marvel and DC. Well, let's analyze this here, especially to look ahead to the upcoming films. After all, there will be Avengers, there will be Batman, the new DC universe with James Gunn, the new Marvel. So let's take a look. They won't be fooled. Could do a double feature.
If those two movies had premiered on the same day, which was the initial plan, you would do a double feature. And I definitely would too. And maybe those people in our closest circles would do that. But 99% of people wouldn't watch. Paint.
And maybe those people in our closest circles would do that, but 99% of people wouldn't watch. What is he talking about? He's saying that in our bubble, right, us who really like this stuff, sure, right, I'll watch Avengers, and right after, watch a Superman. If there's a next one, there will be the next Superman movie. Cool. Now let's suppose they also put the Fantastic Four in there, and I would totally watch it on the same day. Totally. Now, outside of our bubble, for most people, knowing that today at the movies, you go to the mall, and then you, your wife, and your kid, for example, parking, gas, and everything else, and still watch 2 movies. And that's going to cost you around $500 for the outing. Plus, after that, you're going to want to grab something to eat at the mall, right or not? So that little outing is going to cost around $500, $600, $700. What do you think, right? Seats there. What do you think, right? Yeah, it's expensive to go the movies, huh? Let's go
do a double feature. And I don't think the Plus was available, or that the memberships were available. That app they launched, Move Pass, was available. Move Pass has been an option. I don't think so. I don't think any of those options were available. But go ahead. Sorry. Yeah, so to answer that question, no. People wouldn't do that again. Small percentage of people would have done that, but most people wouldn't do it.
So he's saying it's something negative, because since it's expensive to go to the movies, what are people going to do? They would choose, in that example, either Batman and Superman or Avengers, if Spider-Man and Batman were there. Those who like to go would choose Batman. For example, they know Batman more, I don't know. Or, oh no, I like Spider-Man more, for example. They'd go for Spider-Man, wouldn't spend on both. So what happens if it were separate? If there was, for example, Spider-Man, then 3 months later, Batman. Man, I have the money, I can do both. So the same person, go to both. Now, if it were the same weekend, they would choose either one or the other. Another thing, maybe they'd watch it at home, when after about 3 months, both would be available to stream. So what he's saying, and I agree, is that since going to the movies is really expensive, especially with other people like a spouse or kids, what happens is that there's a decision to be made, and most people would choose one or the other. In the end, companies would make less profit, because if the movies were spaced out by 2 or 3 months, meaning not at the same time, that same person could watch both. But if they come out together, they'd only watch one. Got a bit clear if you agree. Most people chose one or the other competing. Most people would have chosen one or the other,
and they would have cannibalized each other. That's why it's fine to release something like, let's say, Gladiator 2 and Wicked the same day. You're targeting completely different demographics.
There will be a bit of overlap, but for the most part, they are different demographics. Look at his opinion. Why did Barbenheimer work? Because people who want to see Barbie usually don't want to watch a movie that looks like a documentary about the atomic bomb, right? True or not? So they are different audiences. Even though, because of this event, let's say people who like Barbie got curious to see Oppenheimer, and people from Oppenheimer got curious to know, wait, is it a Barbie movie? How's that, right? People are praising it. Let's watch. So basically, that's it. Now, two superhero movies that are similar, that's cannibalizing the market. It puts a person in doubt, and they'll choose one or the other, not both, except for us who are in the bubble.
That's why Barbenheimer worked. But if they decided, don't know, to release Sonic and Super Mario Bros. Scary. With two released, they would never put those two on the same day. Like, you would never do that. I don't know, Chris. Do you think there could be a lot of people who would say, screw it, and it would be the biggest double feature day in history? Or do you think a lot of people would choose one over the other?
I feel like you're going to choose one or the other. I don't think many regular people have time these days to, like, oh, I'm going to spend 7 hours at the movies. That kind of time at the movies is true. We're really lucky that this is our job, so it's all good. Well, I went to see 2 movies today. Otherwise, the internet is going to get really mad at me.
It's true. What time do you have, right? Sometimes I remember when I went to see The Lord of the Rings, wow, over 3 hours. Or when I went to see Avatar 2, which is super long. Can you imagine watching 2 movies back to back, 7 hours for an average person? People often miss it or fall asleep. Imagine Endgame and Harry Potter releasing together.
That would be an amazing weekend. I think it's good for the theaters, right? Because both are huge. There's going to be a lot.
Yeah. And studios are definitely very well aware of that. They have programmers in the industry. Absolutely, without a doubt. You've seen it many times, like there's a Marvel movie, then DC goes, oh, as you know, I'm not going to release on that date anymore. I'm going to change it. Or for instance, wow, there's Avatar in December. Who would be crazy enough to compete with Avatar?
So let's schedule our movie, either before or after, at least a couple of months before.
Exactly. Moving things up, moving things down. It's all strategic. Now, guys, what do you think about this in a strategic manner? Moving things up and down in this game of strategy.
I want to know your opinion if you were studio owners, so you're like the guy in charge of DC. You see a Fantastic Four movie coming out in December. For example, would you release Batman in December, or would you move it to November before, or push it back 1 or 2 months? Would you fight it, or would you change it strategically? Comment down below because I want to know. Remember, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. I'll see you in the next video. See you later.